Now you can hear me. All right. I said I wanted to dance as soon as we sort of came into it. I wanted to do a bit of a. Here we go. Could you hear the music though? Could you hear the music coming in? I think that needs to be the soundtrack to all the NFC lives. Welcome everyone across the world. Good to be before you all. Pretty excited about today. I have to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous like normal. I don't know why I get nervous. My heart is sort of fluttering. But I just think it's, anyway, it's really cool to be here and be doing the lives. I'm seeing everybody coming through. I'm going to switch glasses in a minute, but before I do that, you know what I'd love is that if you guys could put in a flag next to your name, because last time around as I was reading all the comments, there were people from all across the world, and I just want to know, where are we right now? I'm in Melbourne, obviously, here in Australia. It's 8 a.m. Last night I was dreaming about doing the live. I could even hear that music, that boom. And so yeah, so I've been doing the live all night long, basically. Anyway, so yeah, put some names in, put some flags in. Let me have a quick look at this. Buongiorno, look at all these beautiful people. Mai is from Australia, so I have to say, Aussies, we're committed to this, because it's you got to get up early for this sort of stuff. But it's great to see Lee in the house, Fred's in the house, Mike from the US. I love it. Bram, welcome, my friend. Okay, so Ancient Aqua, Sweden. I've been wanting to find out where you're from, Ancient Aqua. San Diego in the house. I love this. Beautiful day in Chicago. Waleed, good to see you. I love that the US is representing. Proud of the people, baby. And we've got already some fragrances being called out. So Torino 21, obviously it's a beautiful sunny day in the US. Good morning, Susie, another Aussie. Welcome. It's good to have you all. All right, so here we go, baby. Well, I'm pretty excited. I've got Michael Marzano in the wings at the moment, and we're gonna be going through all things Parfums de Marly. I know that Michael's gonna say it really fancy. I'm gonna say it Parfums de Marly, something simpler than that. Dusan from Serbia. This is awesome. Welcome. Good to have you in the house. PDM. Okay, so it's good to see that we're already repping the PDMs. Uden overdose. All right. It was a Uden overdose day. Absolutely. Glorious fragrance. That's the Uden overdose is my favorite. I think I've mentioned this, for a wedding. If you're planning to have to be the groom or even the bride or even a guest, Uden overdose is your secret weapon. That thing will last all day long. Just a glorious vanilla citrus scent to it. Nice ambery base. You want that. Greetings from New York. Good to see you guys. All right, what else we got? Oh, yeah, and Debbie. Hey, Debbie. I thought you were in Sydney, Debbie. So I was actually hoping to catch up. I did a meetup at the Libertine store on Saturday, and I was hoping that I might bump into you, Debbie, but I didn't realize you were in Canberra. I haven't actually experienced Delina Exclusif, but I do have. So Delina is one of the samples we're going to be testing today. So I look forward to hearing all about what Delina is like. I've heard many great things. The perfect fragrance for a woman. Okay, so Fred's asked me the question, did we do a shoot with Libertine? Wait till you see what we've got in mind. I don't know if you saw on Instagram, I had a picture of myself and Alexandre together. So we did do some filming around Sydney. It's a whole new concept. So we're doing something a little bit different. Well, same but different. If you're not actually, that leads me to, if you, for those who might not know, I have a membership program on the channel. I think it's $4 Aussie. I mean, Works out to like 68 cents euro, maybe 78 cents US. Costs next to nothing. But if you become a member, you have a chance to, I'll do a raffle, and you have a chance to win. Let me send you something. The idea behind it is that you tell me the fragrances that you love. I'll then package together a number of samples based on what you like. And normally what I'd like to do, so for those who are familiar with the fragrance wheel, I'll target some fragrances that I know you'll like, and then I'll push you out a little bit to the left and to the right, just so you can experience new things. So I do a raffle. The raffle will be next week, all right? Now, when I was with Alexandre, let me just say that there is a special something happening there. You want to be a member because you want to win that. So jump on the YouTube channel page, and you'll see that it says join, become a member, and have a chance to be a part of that. Boom, baby, there it is. Actually, that video, Fred, with Alexandre and Sydney will come out probably in about 3 weeks' time. I think we'll need about 2 or 3 weeks to bring that to life and get all that ready. All right, what else we got? Scent of the night, L'Artisan. Yes, gorgeous. Oh, the scent for the night is L'Artisan or the Amber, which is absolute gorgeous. All right, I have some questions here. Serious question, all right? Everybody got their serious hat on? I want to know if, all right, so I've been doing the lives is a new concept here for those who are a part of it. And I've been inviting members of the channel to be spotlighted, you know, so you have a chance to talk about fragrances you've discovered, or perhaps a family or a brand that you really love. I haven't had a lot of people who go, yeah, you know what, I'd love to be a part of the live. Early on, I had both Mike and Max here in Australia, Mike in the US, who said, look, I'd love to do something there. What are your thoughts? If you could tell me now, do you like would you prefer that I just invite special guests to be part of the live? I actually want to hear what the members of the channel have to say, you know, but maybe that's just a little bit too scary to all of a sudden, you know, have the spotlight. So tell me your thoughts. Those who are members of the channel, is it a good idea to do the spotlight concept, or should we I'll leave it up to me and I'll find special guests to join in? What are your thoughts, everyone? Inviting special guests. I love that, Fred. Sorry, I'm going to have some mate. Mike says a combination of both. So that's it. That's all. No one else has any other thoughts? Dusan, I love your idea, and I agree with that. I think that would be awesome. I actually did think I'd love to invite some perfumers and talk about their creations on this sort of platform. All right, so we got special guests, preferably those with little or no fragrance knowledge is my preference. Okay, special guests with no little or no. Okay, all right. I'd love to. So Pew and Engage. Tell me more about that. So a special guest that doesn't have much knowledge on that. I would love to see you. Flaner, yeah. See, I like that too. So I did think maybe we start to invite a few, and I thought maybe a balance, you know, so I'll bring in some, I'd still like to invite members. I think members, you guys should be a part of this. But I do like the thought of bringing in, you know, either perfumers or even brand owners to talk about their creations and talk about, you know, their motivation and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty exciting. Kimo's in the house. Good morning, Michael. Buongiorno. Big Mike is in the house. Good to see you guys. Again, Aussies represent. I do appreciate you guys jumping in. All right, so I've got Nan here. Just got Meander based on your review. Really like, yes, and similar frags that are stranger. I feel it's, okay, you feel like it's weak. All right. All right, so let me just say, I've got my producer in the background here who's helping me push. And as soon as I read that, I looked across at my producer and was getting the no. So I'm going to say this. All right. So Nan, okay, so two things I need to talk about. One is be careful where you buy things from. I've been getting a lot of messages lately from subscribers sending me photos of bottles of different brands, Amouage, Nasomato, Orto Parisi, saying my bottle doesn't seem to be performing. Okay. Now this is the reality. I don't know what the real thing should look like. All right. I know that what I have is mine, but I don't know, what I should be looking for to know whether it's real or not. Recently, there's a gentleman by the name of Francois Hennen. He is the head of Javoy, and he recently posted on the Javoy page showing two bottles. One is, so that he has a brand called Jeroboam, and he showed his real authentic Jeroboam, and then he showed this fake bottle, and he said that for the untrained eye, it looks like the same thing, but it is not. All right, so just be careful if you're buying stuff off, I don't know, websites that you like. Here's the thing: if it's super cheap, there's a reason for it. So Meander, is it the real thing? Then so that's the first question: did you actually buy an authentic product? And the second part to it is that it could be that you are becoming nose blind. If you're overspraying, could be that you're not detecting the fragrance. So my recommendation is, if you did buy the authentic thing, is ask the people who are around you, can they smell your fragrance? Meander is a fragrance that you will smell for miles. All right. So I know that when I'm wearing it, I know when my producer is wearing it. I know actually recently we did a Libertine, the meetup at Libertine. I sprayed Meander to show another subscriber or fan, and that fragrance just goes. Okay, so I'd be surprised that if it is a real thing that people are not being able to pick that up. All right, let me begin to bring things in, because I can see Michael in the background. Michael Marzano, who is a perfume expert. For those who are familiar with the channel, will have known that Michael and I have done a lot of things together. To give a little bit of background, who is Michael? So Michael is my original perfume pusher. And mind you, he still is. So there's, he hasn't lost his title. Michael, I discovered Michael probably about 5 years ago. I went to a master class. Actually, I'm going to switch glasses. I'm going to go this one here. I went to a master class. I've told this story a few times, where I went just to discover about Clive Christian. And then sitting in the masterclass, he weaved such magic in his delivery, in the way that he expressed, the brand heritage. I walked away with 3 perfumes. I had no plan. I remember going, all right, I didn't budget for this, but here we go. So I walked away with the collection of Clive Christians from that session. So let me just say that Michael really is very passionate about all things perfumery. He used to be with Libertine. He is now with a brand called City Perfumes. I had a chance to go up to Sydney last week and went to the City Perfume store. So before we begin, and I'm going to show you what the City Perfume store looks like. I was super impressed at how sometimes you walk into a retail outlet and they've got all the different the different brands all there, sort of mixed in with one another. Here, everything is blocked beautifully by the brand. So as soon as you walk in, sometimes if there's a lot of brands, you get a little bit overwhelmed. Like there's too many things that you don't know where it's like an overstimulus. Whereas here, if you walk into the City Perfume store, you'll find that everything is beautifully blocked, and you'll be able to really appreciate the store very quickly. But you know what? I'm going to show it off. All right. So you ready? This is the glorious City Perfume store. And you'll see that they have a number of, they've got a massive collection. I honestly, again, it blew me away at the vast collection they have. They have obviously a number of beautiful niche brands, but they also have a very decent collection of designer brands too. And for those who, because I get a lot of questions about, can I do something with an Ichio? So these guys have an Ichio too. And of course, my favorite, Nasomato. Forget about it. All right, let me bring onto the stage the talented Michael Marzano.
Good morning, Marcelo.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. How are you?
I'm good. Really, really good.
That's good. Hello, everybody. Great to see some familiar names there. Deb in Canberra, hello. Hi, everyone.
Well, Michael, I've asked Michael to jump on board to last live. We had Big Mike, who showed us his collection of Parfums de Marly, and it was awesome. Like, I got a lot of comments, a lot of people interested in this. What I thought today is, by bringing in Michael Marzano, is to show us now a range of fragrances. If you're not sure about the Parfums de Marly collection, some that are female leaning, so obviously a few more sort of florals and fruity notes, and then others that are masculine leaning. Now, before I go any further, Michael, let me just say there is a promo going on. All right, so I'll get my producer to push that. So the promo is this. City Perfumes have been very generous in doing a 10% discount. This is across the world, by the way. So they deliver across the world. I had a quick look, and like I put myself, if I was in Spain or if I was in the US, the delivery costs are very reasonable. So these are, and also just be aware that everything is in Aussie dollars. So the prices are pretty good. So 10% discount. The code is NFC Perfumes. All right. So you'll see it on screen there. That's a 10% across the board on everything except Chanel. So any of the Chanel products, it's not included in that 10% discount. If you plan to buy a Parfums de Marly, on top of your 10%, you'll also receive a gift with purchase. And Michael will go into more detail about that. So there's something for the girls. So you'll receive a body lotion and a gel on the Delina brand. And then for the boys, you're getting 2 different body washes. And Michael, again, will explain that. As you're checking out, there is a special comment. You just need to write which one you want. Whether you want, if you did buy a Parfum de Marly, do you want the Delina or do you want the more blokey ones? But I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give the stage to my good friend. Michael, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you, everybody. And very excited to be with you all again as well. Just a quick, brief overview of Parfums de Marly. This was the brainchild of Julian Sprecher. And Julian Sprecher is a man who is very, very passionate about 18th century France, in particular the Chateau de Marly, which was the pleasure palace of the Louis Kings. And it was here that the king could be himself with his courtier, away, I should say, from court life and politics, where he could be himself as a man. He would entertain his best friends, his many, many lovers and mistresses, and it was deemed a pleasure palace. And also, it was where he stabled his thoroughbred horses. So if you look at the names of each of the Parfums de Marly fragrances, you'll see that all of them are named after a thoroughbred. Delina, Pegasus, Layton, I can go on, obviously. And this is the link to talking about Parfums de Marly and its inspiration. They work with some of the world's greatest perfumers, in particular with Hamid Merati Kashani. He's done a lot of work with Parfums de Marly. And what we're going to be doing today is discovering some of the icons in this brand and 2 of my picks as well that I really enjoy personally. So I think let's start with Delina. Okay, Delina is ultimately the best-selling feminine fragrance in Parfums de Marly. And here we are entertained with notes of candied rhubarb. There's Turkish rose as well. The beautiful notes of lychee fruit. And then we go into the base notes. And the base notes of this fragrance are very interesting because it is fundamentally vetiver musk and cashmeran wood. It's absolutely stunning. I describe this as a beautiful, clear, limpid, fruity floral with wood accents. Okay, and you get that grassy woodiness from the vetiver in the base. I think it's an extraordinary fragrance, and I think every woman must have a bottle of Delina in her fragrance wardrobe. I think it's
gorgeous.
spectacular. It is beautiful, Marcelo. And like all Parfums de Marly, it's very long wearing as well.
I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. This one here, you said lychee. I'm also getting like a peach, sort of fruity.
Yes.
On the top, no, but I reckon
that lends itself to fruitiness because there's also bergamot in the top. So you get that lovely sort of, pseudo grapefruit accent that cuts into the syrupiness of the rhubarb and also the beautiful Turkish rose notes as well.
Funny, because I was going to say that just a hint of rose is in there too, which is quite beautiful.
It is.
So what's the difference between Delina and Exclusive? Is it Exclusive has
so
more
the Delina Exclusive has additional notes that have been added to it, more resinous and woody notes, and also a touch of orange blossom as well to give a creaminess in the formulation too. So you get an incredible complexity that comes forward with Delina Exclusif. But classic Delina is the ultimate feminine everyday fragrance. Beautiful. You basically can't go wrong with this.
I'm going to say a lot of women are already on this. I have noticed, like on Instagram, I see a lot of people showing off their Delina and talking about their love for this particular fragrance.
So the other one I want to talk about is the stunning Oriana. And as you know, Marcelo, I'm a great fan of orange blossom. It is one of my favorite flowers. I think I own every orange blossom fragrance that's ever been created, including this one. As much as it's marketed to women, I find this extraordinarily beautiful and complex. Can you smell the creaminess, Marcelo? That vanilla creaminess of orange blossom. And there's also beautiful notes of chantilly cream or a chantilly vanilla note. And also, again, mandarin, bergamot, and grapefruit in the top. And of course, citrus is always added to this genre of amber floral fragrances to cut through any excessive sweetness. And you'll find that this is a beautiful, I call this a luminous fragrance. And it's got incredible warmth and depth and almost a cocooning effect is how I would describe it. It's a very comforting fragrance.
I love that it's not a classic, because you said orange blossom and my brain was instantly going into that neroli, orange, white floral, whereas I think I'm picking up a lot more on the vanilla and the creaminess that you just mentioned.
Correct. It's very creamy. It's very, very complex as a consequence of that because you've got a lot of faceted layers in this fragrance. For those of you out there that love floral ambers, this is a stunning example of that style of fragrance. So you get the incredible throw, longevity, and the incredible volume that you would expect from a fragrance of this category.
Now, in the out there, are we familiar with Oriana? Because I can see that we're seeing some comments come through on all things Delina, which is awesome. So, anyone and Layton, any Oriana fans out there?
Honestly, I think it's a sleeping giant. I really do. I think it has a lot of potential and a lot of for want of a better word, an incredible sort of place in any fragrance wardrobe. For example, you could wear Delina during the day and transpose or wear Oriana for evening. Or you can utilize Oriana as your winter daytime fragrance as well.
Right.
It's stunning.
All right, yeah. The girls are coming in. All right, so Oriana is one that I can see the girls. Yeah. So we've got Susie, we've got Mai.
It is long wearing, 100%. All the Marly fragrances are. Something that you can never, ever doubt about Marly is throw and sillage and volume.
Yep.
You will get that. The other feminine fragrance I do want to talk about is Valaya, and then it's your turn, boys, I promise. And Valaya is one of their most recent launches. This is a beautiful white floral with green undertones of patchouli.
Yep.
And exquisite notes of mahonial, which is a beautiful white floral accord. And you get this incredible white floral jasminate signature coming through, and almost a water lily of the valley type of signature. This is a beautiful, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a great everyday summertime fragrance, ladies. It's spectacular. Again, don't be fooled by its lightness or freshness or this incredible, beautiful, luminous quality of this fragrance. This is a winner, particularly for hot, humid conditions as well.
I'm getting a real dryness from this. Did you say there was vetiver here?
Yes, there's green vetiver and patchouli notes as well.
Right, because I'm getting that more dry, earthy green.
Yes, and it's a mossy woods fragrance.
Right.
Mossy woods floral.
Yeah, because I'm not getting, you mentioned white flowers, but I'm not getting that. Again, I think my brain's instantly going, oh yeah, jasmine, magnolias, those sort of white florals that are common.
There's nymphial and mahanial with a beautiful note of fleur d'oranger or orange blossom. Again, you've got citrus in the top, and you've got the beautiful green mossy notes in the base. And those two notes I spoke about, yes, are biosynthetic blends that create white floral signatures and musky, very clean white musk signatures as well.
Yep. All right. So on card, I'm getting, as I mentioned, I'm getting the more mossy side of things, a slightly dry green.
Yes, you do.
Whereas on skin, I'm now picking up the bit more citrus, the white floral.
Yes.
But the greenness is definitely there.
100%. That's why it's a fragrance that is classed as a mossy woods floral.
I was going to say, this could be, I mean, I know you said this was for girls, or for more, not for girls, but more feminine leaning. But I mean, a man could come, I mean, I could wear this.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Look, I wear Oriana very, very successfully because I love the orange blossom. I love the creaminess. I love the volume. At the end of the day, it's what smells good on you that's important. It transcends gender. Wouldn't you agree, Marcelo?
Look, I've put on Valaya right now. Valaya can comfortably be a fragrance for me. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm getting a slight tinge of that orange blossom coming through, which is quite nice.
Absolutely.
Here's a question for you, Michael.
Yes.
So I've been running a commentary on the channel asking the question about skin chemistry. I did an episode, did research on this. And I wanted to quote you in that episode, but I didn't want to misquote you. And I knew that we were going to be doing this live. So do you believe skin chemistry is a real thing, or is it just a myth? What's your view?
Okay, there are two sides to this coin. At the end of the day, each of us genetically has been engineered in a unique way, okay? And it comes from both our parents forming or creating something new, okay? So our chemistry, even though there are links back to our genetic source, is unique. Just like our fingerprints are unique, just like many other things are unique. What may last on Mrs. McGillicuddy Smythe is not going to last on Mary, for example. Right. She may be of a different ethnicity. She may come from parts of the world where there is less oil in the skin, or there are fewer perspiration glands because she comes from the far north, Whereas anyone closer to the equator, of course, that's going to be very different. Okay. It also, and you brought up a very interesting point, Micah, that it does have something to do with our habits. So it's what we ingest, our diet, stress hormonal levels, medication. All these things can influence how a fragrance smells. And also age. I know when I wear the very first fragrance I ever purchased, now it smells totally different and brings upon a different memory to what it did when I was 18 years old. And that was almost prehistory, so we won't go there.
I'm glad that you shared all that, because I know that we've had this conversation offline, and yes. I know that you the things that you've mentioned here, which is awesome, is what you've shared with me, and that is that our skin, where we're from, how we take care of our body when it comes to the food that we're ingesting, and how we're, our hygiene, all plays a part in how our perfume performs. Now, Michael, I'm going to keep moving because I know that the store is opening right now. Michael is in the City Perfume store, and I know that you're open. I can hear noise in the background, so I don't want to take you away from opening your door. So I'll keep moving. Sorry.
Let's go to Layton. And I have to say, like Delina for women, Layton is a fragrance that every man has to have in his fragrance wardrobe. And Milas, I agree, it is an absolute masterpiece. This is a classic amber fragrance. You've got wonderful notes of cardamom in this fragrance. So you get that wonderful cardamom sweetness that comes through. In the base, it goes into the rich wood notes that it's famous for. Beautiful mixed notes of sandal, cedar, and of course, some incense notes as well, but with warm spices. I love the presentation too, Micah, of the bottles. They're stunning. So you've got the 1743 horses, and the logo might be hard to see. There it is. It's in relief.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is, every man must have Layton in their wardrobe. This is another fragrance that you cannot go past it. It's extraordinary. You can wear it with a suit. You can wear it casually. I wore it recently on a dinner outing with just jeans and a blazer and a T-shirt. Every time I wear Layton, it's comments galore.
The opening lavender, is there lavender in the
lavender? Yes, correct.
Yeah, because the opening lavender really just that aromatic component, but very pleasing. Sometimes lavender for me, sometimes lavender can be a little bit on the acrid side, and it's a little bit over. Yes. Sometimes I find some fragrances overdo it, whereas here it's actually quite nicely blended.
It's tempered by cardamom, Marcelo, right, okay. So that the sweetness of the cardamom, that syrupy sweetness, really tempers that down. Yes, I agree, Micah. Layton and Carlisle, I'm going to be talking about Carlisle as well, is an absolute must fragrance, 100%. Yep.
Gorgeous. I love it.
Let's go to Carlisle now that we're on that discussion. And Carlisle is my black tie fragrance. If I'm going out to a special event, an evening event, somewhere special like, to watch an opera or to a wedding or a late dinner party, this is absolutely extraordinary. And I get straight away the beautiful notes of osmanthus, tonka bean, the beautiful green apple, nutmeg and saffron, vanilla and patchouli in the base. It's absolutely extraordinary. Marcelo, have you disappeared?
I did, because I don't have Carlisle in front of me. And so I'm like, where's my Carlisle?
I'm sorry, the gentleman brought it up. So I thought it would be great to quickly talk about it.
Well, I'm missing out, all right? And I feel deprived because I haven't had a chance to smell Carlisle.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll go with what you're sharing.
Lovely.
Now, here's a
Okay.
question that I constantly get asked, okay? And now I'm going to put you in a hot spot. Now, you may not know the answer to this, so don't feel like you need to answer it, Michael.
I know every answer, Marcelo.
Good for you, Michael. So the question is, and I do get this asked of many other brands, whether it's Xerjoff, Creed, Orto Parisi, Nasamato, et cetera, et cetera. And the question is about the reformulation. Now, what's your thoughts here?
Look, because of the nature of raw materials in the world of niche perfumery, a lot of things come into play. One of which is harvesting times, which can alter, the crop of the year, minerality changes in soil, all sorts of different components act towards creating something unique. And this is what makes niche stand apart from those static designer architectures that are deliberately designed to be recognizable and static, okay? Because they want you to know that that's X by Y, and that smells great, and I need to buy it, okay? Niche is very different. Niche becomes you. It becomes a unique signature. So when we talk about variations of formulation, it's only natural that when you are using raw materials that are exposed to seasonality, minerality changes, and all sorts of factors, excessive heat, more coolness one year, weather adaptation, all sorts of things can impact how a raw material's final state comes forward. I know that in my back garden, my tomato crops every year slightly change. Some year they're slightly more acidic, other years they're not as acidic. It's something that we have to embrace and accept. It doesn't impact the fragrance at all. There'll be a slight change, but really that's it.
Yep. Okay. I appreciate that. And I love that you're a good Italian, that you have your vegetable garden and you have your tomatoes.
Of course. You have to grow it, man, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have in front of you, Marcelo, the stunning Althair?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. That's right. And HB, great point. So it's obviously going to impact fragrances, right? And it's only natural. If you think about it, it makes complete logical sense. Althair, this, for those of you that love gourmand style fragrance of praline, oud, and vanilla, and I'm talking vanilla Madagascar.
Right.
This is the ultimate fragrance for you. Now, of all the ones that I'm talking of today, this is probably the most versatile in terms of gender.
Right.
Women smell spectacular wearing this, as do men. I love the praline vanilla combination. I think it's absolutely spectacular.
It's there on the opening. First spray, boom, that very gourmand, vanilla, sugary coated.
Cinnamon, cardamom as well.
Right.
Hello, Helen B. I love this, Marcelo.
Yeah, gorgeous. I'm a sucker for gourmands. I
know you are.
Mind you, I'm a sucker for a few things, but a beautiful gourmand as an evening summer fragrance or even a winter fragrance, as I like to say, it's pure magic. It just radiates, comes off your skin. You become intoxicating as other people smell it.
Yes, absolutely. Look, I'm not a gourmand fan, as you know.
No, I know.
But I wear this, and it smells spectacular. I love it.
There you go. Because I know you lean away from gourmands, which is
yes, I do. I like
sweet enough. That's what it is.
Yes. Well, that's arguable, but anyway. Okay, what other masculine fragrance do you have in front of you?
We've got a question here. Give me 1 second, Michael. So, enjoying the live. Would you mind speaking about the gorgeous? Okay, look, we don't have. Do you want to speak about? How do you pronounce that?
Which one?
Oajan, is that Oajan?
Yeah, Oajan, yes.
So
I love
just to
Oajan.
let everybody know, what time do you got to go, Michael? Because the store is
I've
opening
just
at
got to
9.
make sure that we're finished by 9 o'clock.
All right. So you want to take it till 9?
Oh, can you hear that in the background? I'm
I
sorry.
can
It's
hear that.
probably a fire drill.
That's your boss saying you got to wrap up, baby.
Let's keep talking.
All
Here
right,
you
all right.
are. Stop.
Which one have you
Oajan,
got? Okay,
if you love honey and cinnamon, if you love rock rose and benzoin, vanilla, tonka bean, patchouli, Oajan is spectacular. It's a real rich. Yes, I'm going to talk about Herod in a moment, Deb. But this is a sweeter amber fragrance with that sort of classic what was once called Oriental background. It's now called amber. And it's very, very warm and spicy. This is another great evening fragrance.
This is gorgeous. Yeah, this is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
So last time round, I've got a channel member. His name is Big Mike. Why I call him Big Mike? Because he's very big, or very tall, I should say. And this is the one that I'm like, whoa, this is pretty good. Now,
Yeah,
just to let everybody know, I don't have the Parfums de Marly. I'm very late on this train. I do apologize. As you can see, I've only got samples in front of me. So this is a great way for me to explore the range. And yeah, Oajan, I think I was wearing it last time. It actually was great on skin. So yes.
So,
for those who
Marcelo,
like more Oriental.
I have a new fragrance in my top 5.
Okay, hit me.
And it's Haltane.
Oh, okay, yep. I've got a
I
story
like
to tell on this
Micheal
one.
too, Mike. Haltane, in my opinion, is the ultimate gentleman's fragrance.
Yep.
Beautiful. Again, a gourmand note in this fragrance. And it's quite surprising because I don't pick up the gourmand on my skin at all. But here we've got dark notes of cedar wood, of oud, beautiful oud wood, Moroccan cedar wood, and that greenness. Yes, I agree, Ancient Aqua. Haltane, to me, is an extraordinary, exceptional fragrance. To me, it screams of pinstripe suit, of money, of status, it's just got this very elegant, sophisticated signature that I haven't smelt since Polo Green. I remember I was with L'Oreal back in the 80s when I started in perfumery when Polo Green was launched.
Right.
And this takes me back in time. It is an extraordinary fragrance. This is another one with Layton that every man needs to have in their fragrance wardrobe.
All right, let me share my experience. You ready? Whenever I'm traveling, I always want a good fragrance for the airport. I find that, not that I get anxious, but I want to make sure that I don't miss my flight. So there's a lot of, emotions going on and the luggage and bada boom, boom, boom. So I want a fragrance that is going to stay with me and take me through the airport, through the plane, and then land on the other side. I wore this. So I know you gave me a sample of this. And I wore this. I sprayed at 5 in the morning. It was an early flight. So I sprayed at 5 in the morning. Now, I had this fragrance on me till, without any level of exaggeration, and my producer's in the background, she can verify, till about 4 p.m. that same day. So more than 12 hours, or just about on 12 hours. And it was still popping on my skin.
Yeah.
I found all the things that you just shared was actually on point. On the plane, I'm just detecting this very regal, very elegant, masculine fragrance on me. I was detecting more of the green cedar-like components of it, so really beautifully woody.
Yeah.
Not detecting any gourmand. You mentioned a gourmand. No, I'd be curious to know what that is. But for me, it was,
but it's very minimal.
Right. But on skin, and the funny thing is, and I kept saying this to Sandra, every time I'd move, like I'd bend down and get that sort of, because I always like to spray on my solar plex and my stomach. as I'd move, I'd get this, and I'm like, man, that fragrance rocks. I kept saying to myself, this fragrance really pops. So Haltane, I verify, is a really good fragrance.
Althair and Haltane are two fragrances that are really climbing up the sales ladder as well. They're becoming more and more popular. And Mike, I'm just noticing there, does Parfums de Marly have a fougere? Oh, yes, they do. They have two. They have the beautiful fresh Percival, and they also have Pegasus. So they are two fragrances that you need to look at. Pegasus is in a silver bottle, and they are the two aromatic fougere. And Batu, I'm just about to talk about Herod, our last fragrance of the day. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, let me smell this one out.
Cinnamon and pepper in the top note of this beautiful fragrance.
Yep.
We have tobacco leaf, incense, and osmanthus. Beautiful notes of vanilla and an incredible smoky patchouli note and a wood note. Herod is gorgeous. I agree.
Yep.
This is another one that I thought I wouldn't like when I first tried it on my skin.
Right.
But I'm completely blown over. I think Herod is extraordinary. And Megasoid, I agree, Percival's great. Percival is a fantastic everyday men's fragrance, a classic fougere. Remembering, boys, that 78% of total masculine fragrances sold globally fit in the aromatic fougere category. Okay, so fougères are very easy wearing. They last, this one in particular, but there's some extraordinary fragrances that we've discovered today. And I have to say, hand on heart, this is a brand that I've fallen in love with because I've worked with it a lot more being here at City Perfume in Maryland's in store. And I have to say, this is the brand I bring everyone to now. I've got a lot of admiration for it.
Well, if you do go to the City Perfume store in Maryland, you'll be able to see the full display, not only of the Parfums de Marly's, but also all the collection that they have. For those who may have missed, I'll show you this again. I was in store on Friday, had a chance to film. So they've got the City Perfume store in Maryland has a vast collection. If you can't make it to the store, you can go online. There is a promo happening right now. If you use the code NFC Perfumes, and you can see it on the bottom of your screen there, you'll receive a 10% discount across all their range, except Chanel. So Chanel is not part of that promo. If you happen to buy a Parfums de Marly, if you've been tempted by Micheal today, then you'll get your 10%, but you'll also receive two options of gift with purchase. One more female leaning with some gifts from Delina, and others which are more masculine leaning for, I think it was Layton and Percival. Am I right in saying that?
That's correct. So they're very large. They're 50 mil. They're large travel sizes.
Awesome.
And normally they're sold. So these two are free. And for the ladies, it's Delina body cream and the bath and shower gel, 50 ml each as well.
Beautiful. So that promo will only run till midnight on Wednesday. All right, 11:59. Boop, that thing closes. And that's even if you are a City Perfume member. Use the code NFC Perfumes. You'll get your 10% across that. And correct. As I mentioned, if you buy the Parfums de Marly, you'll also receive those gifts with purchase. As you're closing, so if you're doing an online order, you'll see that there's a comments box. Just write which one you prefer, whether it's Delina or whether it's the Layton and Percival shower gels. All right, let me stop this. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, my fault. I was too busy talking.
So, Marcelo, are there any more questions before we wrap up about anything Parfums de Marly?
Let me have a look. Any questions for Micheal? We've run out of time. All right. So Ancient Aqua, I can see that we're gonna have to do this again.
Yes,
Michael,
I
you've been
think
a hit.
so. And not only that, I think my bosses, Terry and Stephen, they distribute Parfums de Marly in Australia. They also distribute Initio fragrances, the beautiful Atelier des Eaux as well, which is another stunning brand, and Parfum Caron, the beautiful Caron brand from 1905. And I think sometime we need to come back and talk about Caron, Marcelo.
I'm all in. I'm already voting a yes for that.
Beautiful.
So I'd love to hear what other people have to say. Actually, you mentioned Initio. I get a lot of questions about Initio.
Yes.
That's another brand that I haven't really explored. So yeah, I think maybe the next lineup should be an Initio lineup and some recommendations.
Yes,
because I know I have smelled Oud for Greatness, so that one I have experienced, but all the others I really don't know.
Wonderful.
So ladies we've already got Mike has already voted for Initio, just to give you a heads up.
Beautiful. That's fine, Mike. Let's do it. Yes, they do have good ones. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to love you and leave you all. I wish you all the very best from wherever in the world you are. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Thank you for your passion for the brand. And last but not least, thank you, Marcelo. You're extraordinary.
No, my man, you are. You're the original OG in this area.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you all, and thank you again for allowing us this opportunity. And please, for those of you that live in Sydney, tell your friends, get them to come to store. I will more than truly look after you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate your time, buddy, because I know you had to get there early. Just to give everybody a heads up, today is Michael's day off. He actually came in just for this. So thank you, Michael, for doing
my
this.
My absolute pleasure. Anytime.
Bye, mate.
Thank you. Bye, Marcelo.
Michael is a champion. Let me just put it out there. I appreciate his time and energy. He's a good friend. And actually, we've become really good friends as a result of this perfume. I'm not going to call it an addiction. I'm going to call it perfume love. That's what I'm going to say. Well, it's been awesome. I've been seeing a number of comments coming through. I'm going to actually move this. While Michael's been talking, I've been having my mate, just chilling. All right, hide that. Boop. All right. So yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate you taking time. Saw a number of comments come in. Fragrance brings. I think I totally agree with you, Mika. So there's a joy in being able to share something as beautiful as a beautiful fragrance. I was talking to somebody on the weekend that I think we underappreciate our sense of smell. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on sight and taste and whatnot, and we sort of put smell into a box. Until you lose your sense of smell, do you realize how powerful it is? Back when all the COVID thing was going on, I lost my sense of smell for 5 days, man. I thought my whole world had become black and white. I remember spraying Interlude Man, and that thing can go through walls, and I couldn't smell it, and it was so distressing. I would wake up in the morning and just not being able to sort of savor my experience, my life. Anyway. All right, so I'm just going to say one more time, if you do want to take advantage of the City Perfumes promotion that's happening, it does end on Wednesday, all right? Have a look at, so if you just jump on cityperfumes.com.au, you'll be able to see the vast collection of fragrances that they have. You have access to everything. The code is NFC Perfumes. Make sure you use that to get your 10%. If you want to buy any of the Parfums de Marly, you can get a gift with purchase with that also, okay? Now, I'm getting my producer giving me, no, we're good. All right. Now, I didn't want to interrupt Michael when he was sharing. So Nan, if you're still with us, your question is something that gets asked quite regularly, and that is about the reformulation of different brands. I didn't want to interrupt Michael because we had a limited time, but I do want to address this again now, and that is the points that Michael raised are things that I've also discovered in asking the brands. My personal experience with this, I spoke to, because one of the questions that gets asked quite regularly has the Black Afghano by Nasomato been reformulated. It's not the same as it used to be, but okay. So I actually had a chance to, I was at Exxon's, I had a chance to speak to the marketing manager there. Her name is Rita from Nasomato. And I did ask her this very question, you know, and I realized that it's also a very sensitive question to ask, because it's almost like you're saying to the brand, why are you cheating me by lowering the quality of a fragrance that I've come to love? And I think that's what I feel like that's the underlying question that's being raised by perfume lovers. Her response was, in line with what Michael said, that in nature, nothing gives you the same result year on year. Sometimes, as Michael mentioned, his tomatoes are a little bit more acidic. Other times there's something else. And I've discovered that for myself too. Sometimes in nature, nature delivers its product as it wants to. That's part one. And the second part is that the IFF, I think, is the acronym, which is the body that governs what notes we can use, or what the perfumers can use when it comes to raw ingredients. They change. They say, okay, this is no longer available, so you now have to find a substitute for it with an aroma chemical. So that will also change what that fragrance smells like. Rita from Nasomato said there is no way that we would actually tweak, as in downwards, our most prominent flagship product like Black Afghano to lessen the experience for the user. So if there is formulation or reformulation that occurs, it's only because, one, they've been instructed to by the IFF, or two, if there is a difference, it's because that natural ingredient that has come out is different. It has a different scent to it. I'll go one more back on Alessandro. So there is a fragrance called Hindu Grass, a patchouli-leaning fragrance. He discontinued it because the quality that was coming from his source was no longer at the level that he wanted to. And again, Rita shared this with me, that because it was no longer at the level that he wanted, he said, look, I don't want to compromise my overall vision of the fragrance, so he discontinued it. So I'm going to say that most brands are respectful of what they have. So Naxos is another classic that a lot of people talk about. I'm going to say that the brands don't want to mess with the product that is such a flagship for them, that they not necessarily will degrade the level of quality just so that they can save a couple of bucks, you know. So yeah. Does that answer that question? And I like, Miko, your comment that nostalgia does play a part in it too. That sometimes we imagine like what it should smell like or experience like, and sometimes our memory amplifies that too. Now, Jared, will that brand ship to the US? Okay, so let me switch glasses. Goodness me. So if you go to the City Perfumes website, you'll see that they deliver across the world. And I went and I looked at sort of more further regions of that are across the world. The answer is yes. Their shipping pricing is also very reasonable. So I think I looked at some places in Europe, and I think the shipping cost was very reasonable. And then also shipping cost to the US, again, very reasonable. Right now, the Aussie, and all the pricing that you'll see on that website is in Aussie dollars. So when you convert across, I mean, the Aussie dollar right now is, for us Aussies traveling abroad, it's in the toilet. It's really bad. But anyway, for you guys, it's awesome because you're getting major bang for your buck. So have a look at their website. You'll see that they've got some pretty good prices there. Boom. All right. Anything else before we call it a day here? My NFC family. I wonder why, what was that? I saw that. What's your favorite Xerjoff hot weather fragrance? Okay, so that's a good question. All right. On the spot, what brings to mind? Actually, you know what? Rather than some thoughts. So while I'm sort of coming up with some ideas there, I'd love to have some other ideas from people's favorite Zurich. Okay, the ones that come to mind quickly. So Renaissance is number one, I would say. Renaissance 1861 collection. It's undervalued, in my opinion. It's a bit of a hidden gem. So Renaissance number one. Torino 21 would be absolute classic. You could actually own both. So Renaissance has a more of a green petitgrain woody component to it, whereas Torino 21 really amplifies the citrus and mint component. That on a summer day, 21, if the hotter it is, the more you sweat, the more 21 really radiates. Another one off the top of my head would be, let's move away from citrus and go into something else. Let's see, any recommendations? Naxos. You know, the funny thing is, I did think Naxos. For me, Naxos is my winter fragrance. However, I have had a lot of people who reach out and have said that Naxos is brilliant as a summer night fragrance. That those honey tobacco notes, the little bit of lavender that's in there really pops and radiates. So I need to test it. Right now we're moving into really cool weather, so it's not going to happen. But this coming summer, I promise I'll wear Naxos. Jared suggesting white on white. I haven't smelt that. We don't have it here in Australia, so I haven't had a chance to experience that yet. Ivory Route, absolutely. So that's another good one. So Michael suggesting Ivory Route. That is gorgeous. And 40 knots, how can I forget? So 40 knots is a really, really good fragrance. But again, for me, that's a summer night. So the slight salty aquatic component. There are spices in there, very ambery. So that as a summer fragrance would be beautiful of the evening. Sandy's recommending Uden. I agree. You know, funny, I did think Neo, but because it was, so Neo's a classic bitter neroli. So I would say that, sorry, and I'm just going to throw this out, Sandy. If you have Renaissance, I mean, Neo is okay, but if I had to choose, Renaissance really is my powerhouse in that area. What else do we have? Dolce Amalfi, absolutely. So that's another beautiful summery evening fragrance. There's a quince nut in there. It's a slightly gourmand, so it does have a sweetness to it, but on a summer night, open shirt, let the heat come through. It's just gorgeous. Radiates like a monster. What else do we have? Boop, boop, boop. All right, let me think of something else. Bing, ding, dong. La Capitale is gorgeous, also hot weather. Actually, La Capitale, a lot of people think it's more directed to as a female sort of leaning because of the opening peach and strawberry notes in there. I disagree completely because I've worn that and I've actually had, and I think I've mentioned this before, I had a Tongan man who, you know, boom. And he's like, man, you smell good. And I'm like, do you think it's a little bit too sweet? And he's like, no. That fragrance smells awesome on you. That was an evening. We were out as a group of friends. It's the musk in the bottom, the slight fruits. There's other components in there. Amazing on a man, but obviously on a woman would be pure magic too. Yes, Mesfito. I agree. I think Mesfito is a beautiful. That's a beautiful summery fragrance for the day. So I would recommend that one too. Richwood. How can I forget? So Richwood would also be another classic for a summertime. I think that the patchouli component in there in the base lends itself quite nicely. So that's an all day. So I've worn that in high heat, and Richwood is glorious. It radiates like a monster also too. Golden Dollar. I haven't, you know, that's another one that I wear as a winter fragrance. So I find that the hazelnut, there's an ambery warmth to that fragrance, which I absolutely love. And Vivian is in the house. Good to see you, Vivian. You missed last time. It's good to see that you're here. Don't forget to like the video. Yes, thank you, Vivian. Don't forget to like the video. That's awesome. All right, well, guys, if you have no more questions for me, Vivian, should I say? I won't say it because you already know. You know, the fragrance is just radiating off me right now. I don't know why. Guys, it's awesome to be connected across. I mean, I'm so excited to have done this live again. The next live will be at the end of May. Now, next week, if you're not a member of the channel, I invite you to join. And this coming week, next week, I will be doing a Let Me Send You Something spin. We have, I think, currently about 60 members, which is pretty awesome. And I mentioned that if we have 60 members, then I'll spin twice. So we'll increase the chances for somebody to win something and let me send you something. I always, for those who are not members, the idea is that you tell me the fragrances that you're enjoying. I will then put forward some suggestions within that scope. Normally people say, look, I like mossy woods or ambers or anything of that nature. I'll put some fragrance in there to suggest within that scope. And then I'll give you some, I'll branch out. I'll give you some other things for you to explore. I always send out legitimate samples, so try to avoid any decanting. And the reason why I don't, I'm being precious here, okay? The reason why I don't like decanting is because I release that top note as I spray, all right? So yes, I'm being an absolute nerd. So I always like giving the actual samples so that it preserves the full experience for you guys to enjoy. Duk. Yok. Can I just say, so I had a chance to do a Libertine, to do a meetup at the Libertine store on Saturday. Yok was there. I have a bag of samples that Yok gave me from perfumers that are in Thailand. Now, I want to thank you, Yok. I actually started already smelling some of these. I had no idea that there was perfumery in Thailand or niche perfumery. So thank you for going to all the trouble of bringing this full bag. So I do look forward to going through all that. I will report in. Actually, I'm going to report in on a Mate Talk about the stuff that, something that pops from that. So thank you, Yok, for taking such trouble to do that. Allora, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining on this live. I'll see you guys on the Mate Talk. Actually, Mate Talk this week will be with myself and Alexandre. So she's putting forward her suggestions, 5 fragrances that she loves. Alexandre is from Libertine. She's the marketing manager for those guys. Thank you, Sean. I do appreciate the connection across the world here. All right, gang. If there's no more things for me, any last remaining questions? All right. So the best, is that a Fougère or is that a Fougère? I think it's Fougère. What is the best Fougère cologne that you can recommend me? All right. I'm going to open it up to all my gangsters that are out there. Any suggestions on best Fougère that you would that you guys would recommend? Arrakis and Vibrato. All right, so I don't know Arrakis, but I do know Vibrato. Vibrato is gorgeous. I'm a shipper guy. And let me just put it out there. I think any form of, and I've just discovered that I have only a few Fougères. For me, I am shipper all the way. I feel like shipper is the way to go. Oh, yeah, okay. Verde is an awesome lineup. I haven't smelled Invasion by Red, but I have heard very many great things about it. Fougère Royale, good choice. I mean, that's the classic, isn't it? So funny. I was waiting for a Creed to pop. So Green Irish Tweed. All right. So who asked the question at the very beginning? Boop, boop, beep, boop. Ibrahim. No, who asked the question? Let me tell you now. The minimum is Green Irish Tweed. Find that fragrance. It's not overdone. All right. So Amazon Boy, I would recommend to you Green Irish Tweed. So just so you know, all these comments will be in the live, so you can come back to this and have a look at all those. But Green Irish Tweed, it is probably the best Fougère out there, in my opinion. If you're in the US, check out, okay, yep, I haven't come across those, Sean. Thank you, Debbie. And Absinthe, yes, I don't have the florist version. for dating. All right, so for me, okay, dating, Pegasus or side effect. Look, I don't have the Initios or the Parfums de Marly, but I've got a feeling that I can see someone saying side effect. So side effect has got the vote. My personal favorite for a date would be, can I just say, if you're a man, my recommendation to you, actually, I'm going to step off camera. Give me 1 second. I got to bring it. So if you're a man, as a date night fragrance, I'd recommend to you Nasomato's Pardon. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the recent Baby What's Your Name with Elias and the very, very gorgeous Sienna, his girlfriend. And both of them, the moment I sprayed this, the sounds that came out from both of them was quite exceptional. I've recommended this to a number of friends, and I can tell you now, this baby is a big hitter. So unlike, I guess, some classic, it's not a gourmand fragrance. There is a chocolate note in there, but it balances between this slightly gourmand with this woody sort of scent profile to it. It projects really well, but also is intimate. Sometimes I find that some projecting fragrances, when you get too close, you're like, ooh, too much. Whereas this has this way of sort of extending itself, but also coming right back. A gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. So if you are going on a date night, actually, and I'll give you one more. I had one friend of mine, I said to him, I recommended this to him. He sent me a message saying that this was a powerhouse for him, that the lady he was dating couldn't take his hands off of him. So Pardon is, sorry? Her, what did I say? Oops, her hands. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so this is quite an intoxicating fragrance. If you haven't seen, I did a review on this too. I talk about Pardon, it's glorious. As a date night fragrance, Pardon, you won't be disappointed. And I wore Pardon de bar, and I had again. So Rasco, I appreciate what you're saying, because it's true. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's done, because at the end of the day, it's just chemistry, meaning that if the molecules are projecting, it's not like they go out and they come back. I don't know how it's done, but it does project, but it's not overpowering. Sometimes, as I said, you could have a fragrance that is just too much. It's just too intense, and it just gives you a bit of a head spin. Whereas this baby, I do no more than 3 sprays. So don't be tempted to go hard on this. 3 sprays, and you'll find that, and I'll go one more. As you heat up, I would recommend you put on skin. As you heat up, the fragrance balloons on you just like a masterpiece. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. But again, Rasco is side effect, 100%, 1,000%. Forget about it. He bought 3 bottles. My man. All right, so what's my favorite high heat fragrance? Ooh, I'm on the spot here now. I should switch cameras so I can show you the fragrance bar. There's a million fragrances here. Okay, Valhalla is, I haven't experienced this one here, so I don't know. So, so a great recommendation, Azam, thank you. House of Sillage, good choice. No, I don't have a lot in their collection. I'm just thinking, well, the question was high heat, correct? High heat fragrance. Alexandria 2, absolutely glorious. My high heat fragrance. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Huh. My brain has just like shut down. High heat fragrance. There's so many. Like literally, my brain's like ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Actually, one that's actually, and I just saw it now. For those who are not familiar with the Xerjoff Decus, so it has a beautiful citrus opening. It has a glorious Tuberose note, but then it dries down into slight incense, and that one there is just, it starts off beautifully vibrant and strong, but it does come down on high heat. Absolute magic also. Gentle Fluidity, actually, boom, there it is. Gentle Fluidity Silver. That is a masterpiece. The hotter it is, the more that fragrance radiates. That's a glorious fragrance. That's an easy walk into if you're brand new to niche. Even if you've been knee deep in niche, that is a glorious fragrance. I would strongly recommend to you. Antonio Combs de Garçon. I love all this. I love this engagement. There are some here that I like. That one there, God of Fire. Yes, God of Fire, another really good fragrance. Actually, I'll add to that one there, Walid. The Soel de Jeddah. That one there, for me, I love it in high heat also. It's the iris note that's in there, along with that mango. Glorious. And that one there is an all year round. So you can wear that in winter, but you can definitely wear it in summer. Golden Woods, that's glorious. Actually, that's one that I discovered when I was in the US. That's a summer evening fragrance, just magic. Oh, let's not start on the Paris Monte Carlo. The whole citrus range and Mandarino de Sicilia is glorious. Actually, the other one that I love, there's Neroli Mediterrano. So those who are not familiar with Paris Monte Carlo, have a look at their citrus range. Any one of those as a summer fragrance is absolute pure magic. Royal Water, nice choice there, Mika. And yeah, Reflection Amouage, I love that one too. You guys are the best. Guys, we're done. You guys are awesome. I was about to say, I love you. It's the Latino coming out, but I do appreciate everybody. I appreciate you jumping in, being a part of this. What an awesome experience. I would like to, so for the May live, if there's any members that are out there that would like to be showcased, do a bit of a spotlight on fragrances, or maybe it could even be fragrances, if you're from the Northern Hemisphere, fragrances coming into summer. So I'm happy for us to have a conversation on that, maybe a nice lineup. I've had a lot of questions when it comes to all things summer. So if there's a member that wants to do a bit of a lineup, say 5 or 6 fragrances that we can talk about, that would be amazing. All right, gang. Okay. All right. So Aditya, thank you so much for your comments. You are popping on all the different episodes. Oh, I salute you. You are the MVP of this 445, my man. That is commitment, and I appreciate your commitment. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate your positive energy, and it's good to be connected across the world, actually, on all things perfumery and smell and everything else. I'm gonna cue the music. You ready? Because we got to have this music. Come on. Now, before I go, don't forget the promo. There's no music. There it is. Let's dance this baby out of here. See you, gang. Good to see you all.